Here we have my first look at the Sharpal Dual Grit Diamond Whetstone. So this is the 162N, which is 8 by 3 inches, and there is a smaller version which is 6 by 2.5 inches. Anyway, this was recommended by Outdoors 55. I bought it with my own money. Well, I bought it with my money for my wife to give me as a present for Christmas. Let's take a look inside. So it comes well wrapped up with a few bits and pieces. It's pretty heavy, actually. It's a pretty heavy stone, and it comes with a magnetic angle guide as well, and a little bit of information there. So the nice thing is that you can use it on this plinth, and let's take a look here. So can we see this? So you can see the top facing one is coarse, and that's a 325 grit or 45 microns. And then on the other side, it's 1200 fine, so extra fine grit, 1200 grit or about 12 microns. So I'm going to start with the coarse side up, and it fits fairly snugly into this plinth, which is also the storage box for it. So as I said, this is 8 inches by 3 or 203 millimeters by 76 millimeters. So starting off with the coarse side and with the angle guide, and I've got my 2 test knives here. So I've got a tailor's eyewitness. This is carbon steel, and then I've got this stainless Solingen paring knife, which I've sharpened a lot. I have done a couple of sharpenings with this already, but here we're just going to give it a bit more of a trial. So the nice thing about this angle guide as well is the standard Sharpal one. You can have it at 14 degrees, 17, 20 or 25. So for this, I'm going to start off at 20 degrees. So let's start with the paring knife and we'll see how we get on. So I have used it a couple of times already just to help take the roughness off. One of the things with diamond stones is you do need to wear them in a little bit because they sometimes come up a little bit coarse. And just feeling this, where I've used it in the middle, it's a little bit less coarse than at the end. So do take a little bit of time to wear them in. And just for this knife, I'll do a test. It is pretty blunt. I can just about cut through, but it's not cutting through easily at all. So let's give it a few passes on this. And I take the angle and then I use my thumb to guide it. And you can hear the sound of it. This probably needs a little bit more wearing in, actually. So I've done a few passes of that. And let's try a few coming back. So I'll put my 20 degrees in. So I've got that. I've got my finger behind it. So I'm keeping the angle fairly consistent. Now I prefer to use a pull method. You can do both. Watch some of Outdoor 55's videos. He's a much better sharpener than I am. I'm still learning all the time. Let's just see how that's done after a few passes. Yeah, there's an improvement there a little bit. So I'm going to do a few more on this side, then I'll switch over. I'm trying to keep the pressure even, especially with this very thin knife, because it tends to bend otherwise. And then we'll turn over to this side. I'm trying to do this in one go. There may be a cut if the dog starts barking or something, but I'm not trying to trick you with this at all. We're just trying to get a nice angle going there. And let's give it another test. So already it's better. I think I'd like to give it a few more now. Now I think I've got the angle. I can just do it freehand. Now the angle doesn't always show up well on here. Couple either side. Let's give it a test. Oh, that's excellent. I'm really pleased with that. So I'm going to flip it over, and it's well stuck in. So this is on the fine side. So that was 325 grit. Now we're on the 1200 grit. So again, I'm going to start with my angle guide just to make sure. I'm going to start with my angle guide. And I'm doing this at 20 just so I get the right feel for that. Okay. So I'm going to do a few passes on each side, trying to keep it consistent. This sounds a lot quieter. I'm going to turn it over. Trying to get all of the blade covered here, and then a few passes on either side. Okay, let's just try that. So people often say, oh, it's very easy to cut paper, but what I'm actually doing is just trying to make sure I haven't got any nicks and that I've got it fairly consistent. So I don't know if we can see this more closely. I am really happy with that. I think that's made it really easy to sharpen. And it's nice having a larger stone so I can do larger knives on here as well. So that was my stainless steel Solingen paring knife, my first test knife. The second one, this is a Taylor's Eyewitness carbon steel. So we just see. Yeah, it takes a lot to get anywhere with that. So I'm going to do this one at 17 degrees. So just get that lined up. So it's quite a smaller blade here. And it's good to try and do most of the work on the lower grit. It's a lot less passes, less time to keep the angle consistent. I'm going to turn it over now. Let me just check the angle there. Okay, got that. I'll just do a couple each side. Now, you may have noticed I haven't checked for a burr, but okay, that needs a bit more. It's one of the things I'm really not good at my sharpening. It's finding the burr. I know Outdoors 55, I'm sure, will take me to task over this because let's just give this another test. Oh, that's really good. I'm happy with that. It's fairly consistent. It wasn't that straight to start with, to be honest. And let me flip it over. So I'm moving over to the 1200 grit now. Just get it fully seated, and let's give it a few passes on this. I'm trying to hold the blade all so it's getting consistent pressure across the whole blade, taking it right up to the sharpening choil. Few alternate passes just to finish. And let's test it. Oh, that is super sharp. Well, I'm really impressed by this. It hasn't taken a lot of work. Hopefully you can see it there. Fairly consistent. With practice, then I've done quite well. So I really like this. Now, just to give you a few more figures about it, it's reassuringly heavy. It weighs in at 1.38 kilos or just about 3 pounds. It comes in this really nice case and with the angle guide as well if you need to use it, which I certainly recommend. Also, the case acts as a plinth and it's got this rubber on the bottom and the stone fits super well into there. So just popping it back in, we've got the angle guide there and then the stone. I don't think I need to use the bag anymore. So that's it. That's the Sharpal Dual Grit Diamond Whetstone. Was bought with my own money. I strongly recommend it. It's fantastic. It came recommended, as I said, from Outdoors 55. He is my sort of YouTube guru for sharpening. I've watched a lot of his videos. I'm not trying to emulate, but I'm just trying to get better at my sharpening. And I think for this part in my sharpening journey, this was the right stone to have. And for me, this is the best sharpening stone I've used. Hope you found this interesting. Let me know in the comments and please give me a thumbs up. Why not watch this video or this sharpening playlist? Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next video.